I register the talk. As you see, it is not well prepared. Talk, option de présentation, présentation. That's. So, by the way, FreeFrame, it's a tools to play with abstract linear and bilinear forms. So to change linear and bilinear form in vector and matrices on finite element space. And it's also very well designed to play also with interpolation operator on finite element. Of course, it is a freeware and it's run on a lot of computer. You can try in your cell phone. You have, so thanks to Antoine Leharic, we do the translation of FreeFrame in JavaScript. And thanks also to Pierre Jolivet, because one of the biggest linear systems solved by FreeFrame is 22 billion of unknown in almost 200 seconds on a lot of processor. Okay, just a team. So today the FreeFrame team is me, unfortunately. So now I'm emeritus. Pierre-Henri Tournier, which are engineer at CNRS, and he do a lot of things in FFDDM, BEM, and also a little bit in HPDDM. Pierre Jolivet do a lot of things in HPDDM interface, and also in the interface with PETC and SLEPC, and you can see that in the next talk. Frédéric Nataf is a specialist about domain decomposition, and he helps on all the domain decomposition tools. It is a research director at CNRS. Xavier Claes are responsible to the BEM method. It is maître de conférence at LJLL. And Alex Fourmont was engineer in RIA, but he get at the end of March. This is the reason why it is only at 20%, and he do a lot of things in a surface, line, and BEM interface in the language. And from Artium Society, you have Simon Garnotel and Frank Lahaye, which do the restructuration of the source, the Git, and the web that. And of course, we have the help of Olivier Pironneau, Georges Sadaka, and Suzuki Atsushi. We help a lot of for the design of FreeFrame. A little bit of story of the history, but I really want to go fast. So they start in 87, and this is done by Olivier Pironneau, and it is in Pascal. It is not free at this stage. And now you are in 2020. So as you see, I make a mistake on my slide. And you are close to the version 4.8. Now it's 4.7.1. But I think in 1 week you pass to version 4.8. And what is really new on this version, you have, of course, a lot of finite elements. You can do surface, line element, boundary method element. You have a very good PETC interface. So it's become very mature software. Okay. FreeFrame is designed for who and for what? First of all, for what? To do research and development, to do academic research, for teaching, and it is really useful to teach PDEs and how to solve PDEs, to understand what is weak form and variational form, to do, of course, algorithm prototyping, to do numerical experiment, and also to make scientific computing and parallel computing. And it is for researcher, engineer, professor, and student. And as I say at every FreeFrame days, all my free kids use FreeFrame when they are students. If you have question about FreeFM, you are welcome to use the community. And generally, if your question is not too hard, you have answer rapidly. Of course, you can also use a mailing list, but I think that there are a lot of people which are in this mailing list, but now the usage are done because the person prefer to use the community. And as I know, there are more than 3,000 true users because FreeFM is used in a lot of university all over the world. And the download per month, I say 1,000, but I have no real number because it's too hard to know. So now the main characteristic of FreeFM. What is FreeFM? So of course you have a lot of finite elements, continuous. So P1, P2, discontinuous, P1, P2. You have also Ravi Artoma, BDM, it's Bretzi, Douglas Marini element, edge element or Nedelec element. You can do vectorial element by coupling in one component P1, in other component P2, etc., etc. You have also the mini element from Bretzi. So about finite element, you have a lot of things, and of course you can add your special finite element if you want, but unfortunately it's not so easy. What is really important in FreeFM, you have automatic interpolation of data from one mesh to another with matrix construction if you need. So a finite element function can be viewed as a function of xy or xyz if you are in 3D, or as an array, and this is of course the array of degree of freedom. The definition of the problem can be at real value or complex value. Today, everything it is in double, but with the work of Atsushi, you can also use quad precision, but it's a little bit tricky. You can use discontinuous Galerkin formulation in 2D today, but I think rapidly you have that in 3D. You have a lot of linear system, sequential and parallel. You have online graphic, and of course you can make link with other software, so that ParaView, for example. You have a VTK, JavaScript version, as I said before, and I think if I do that, okay, you can try to do example in JavaScript. I have no time to test, so I skip. Okay. Now I want to be fast, so you can, of course, in 2D describe the boundary through analytical function. You have also access to automatic mesh generator based on Delaunay-Voronoi algorithm in 2D, 3D. In 2D, it's built in, it's based on Bang, and in 3D, it's done by Tejen. You can, of course, load and save mesh. You can do mesh adaptation, possibly anisotropic, with a computation of the metric to do an isotropic mesh. And this is based on Bang and MMG now. And so thanks to Pierre-Henri Tournier to the link between FreeFM and MMG. You can, of course, link with other software. You have a dynamic link to add plugins. So if you have your special function written in C++, you can add to FreeFM, and you have a lot of examples to do that. You have full MPI interface, and you have a lot of tools to make nonlinear optimization. And a really good tool is IPOpt in sequential, and now in parallel with PETSI, you have a lot of tools, and see the talk of Pierre Jolivet. You have a lot of examples. That's I want to see how to use. It's quite simple. if you have installed FreeFrame, if you have first installed, so the problem of the installation is an hard problem, but on Mac, I give a version. On Windows, there are also a version built in the website, and there are some version for Ubuntu. Otherwise, you need to compile. It's a little bit tricky, but generally, it's not so hard. After install, you have a command called FreeFrame++. You build your EDP file, your script, and you just run in a terminal the FreeFrame things. Of course, under Windows and Mac OS, you have an application called FreeFrame++ in a classical place, and you can drag and drop the icon of your EDP file in the application icon. So what they changed last 2 years. So I skip this because it's just for the memory. It's what you done 2 years ago. So now the last years, so you pass to version 4.5. As you see, I correct link edition to use the new version of MPI under Windows. There are new interface with MMG and ParMMG. You can do true anisotropic mesh adaptation due to this new interface. You have tools to extract surface mesh from ISO value. You have function to eat space in a stream. You can also get the length of a file. Now, in the interface of PETC, you have something to, I don't know what they do, these two functions. You have also ability to assemble the mat directly using Varef in PETC language. You have a new BEM plugin using HTool and BEM tool. And you have a new DSL part for BEM variational form. You can also add 0D integral to make Neumann boundary condition in curve finite elements, etc., etc. You have in version 0.46, you have really important thing. I optimize algorithm to search a point in an element. And if you think on line and surface, it's not so easy because the points are in 3D and you have to make projection. The new function ASTIP to know if the PETC component are here. You have eigenvalue on linear element. I don't know what is this. You can add CMEX tool in a PETC configure. That you can now plot a vectorial function on surface. You have new things in ParMMG interface. The Windows binary is now shipped with PETC and SLEPC. The BEM example are now in example MPI directory. You can plot border now in 3D because all the border now can be seen in 3D. Now the last version, 4.7, you have new way to build matrices between 2D and curve element to do mortar, and you have the same also for 3D. Now, when you are on surface, you want to have access to the normal of the surface. So I add a new word, NS, for normal of the surface. And when you are in a curve, you have no access to the normal, but you have directly access to the tangent of the vector when your mesh is a line mesh. I do something to compile FFmaster under Windows. This is technical things. I add a split PBH in build meshes so that the mesh have no two edges on a boundary. So in fact, if an edges have 2 points on a boundary, I split these edges in two. We change the PET-C interface, you add the mat destroy, etc., etc. We add operator interpolate between 2D and 3D surface. We add matload to load PET-C matrice from the disk. And I think you can also save PET-C matrice on a disk. And you have possibility to assemble symmetric and densify H matrix. I think this is for the BEM techniques. There are some examples, bill appellation using PET-C, OSIN problem with also PET-C, and in SLEP-C, you have now a polynomial eigenvalue solver. I don't know everything here. I know some, but not all. So there are a lot of change. So you can try. And I want to rapidly say what they change, what is the future, and what I want to do, and what I say I have to do previously. The last developed version, it is almost 4.8. So to get, you have the line. 2 years ago, I say I want to do mesh intersection to get conservative formulation in 2D. I try too hard, so I don't know. I not succeed. I have a recent paper of, I'm sorry, I forget the name. And he give an algorithm to do mesh intersection. I try to implement, but I'm a little bit busy and it's not so in a mainstream, so I'm not sure I do. Do the fast interpolation and surface and line meshes, it's done. The new graphic interface, as you see 1 year ago, is in progress, but is done by an internship and it's not completely finished. So I don't know the movement of this part. The element on curve and surface are almost okay. The BEM method, the first version, are very good, and I think you are very close to the last version. The Galerkin discontinued in 3D, I have to do, but I have to do. I expect I do this year. Now I'm retired, so I have more time. And with COVID, I have a lot of time at home. I have completely rewrite the matrix kernel. It's done. So now you have new GMRES, new conjugate gradient. So I think everything it's okay now. You have more than 1 year of tests, so I'm quite confident on this new kind of matrices. The coupling 3D surface element and BEM are in progress. I don't know if it's completely finished, but it is really in progress. I want to rewrite the finite element kernel to do isoparametric finite element and to be able to mix all the elements in future to remove the template things. This is an idea, but I think it's a really big work. So I don't know if I will do that. I have also the idea to make a debugger for FreeFEM, to make client server graphic services. it's not very hard to do, but it's really technical. And I want to write also a new general problem, and it's possible with new matrices to be able to write more general problem rapidly. Try to make an OpenMP interface and try to do quadruple precision and see the talk of Suzuki Atsushi. Okay, so now I finished the introduction and I just want to speak about what is FreeFEM really. So the FreeFEM software is a compiler, and they create a kind of code, a kind of bytecode, and this code will be directly launched by FreeFEM. The language are polymorph. It means that the function can be different for any type. It could be really useful in some time. The keywords are almost reserved, and the operators are like in C, except for the caret, the ampersand, and the pipe, where it is caret its power, ampersand is and the pipe is OR. That's the object. As like in C, the Boolean are 0 is equivalent to false, non-zero are equivalent to true. And if you put a true things in number, you get 1. And you have automatic cast for any numerical value, Boolean, integer, real, or complex. So if you want to write the heaviside function, which are x greater than 0, you just put x greater than 0. This is a Boolean. You put you cast in a Boolean, and you get a real function. You can, of course, also change a number in string, and you can also get a string to a number through the basic C function A2E or A2F if you want. For loop, you can have, of course, a for loop like in C, with possibility to define the indices are local variable to the loop. The scope of the variable are the parentheses, not the parentheses, the accolade in French. So these two symbols. If you define something in this place, it was exist in this place, outside it does not exist. Remark all the variables. So of course you can make if, while, and you can also break and continuous. You have no go-to instruction in FreeFEM. All the variables are almost static because I'm lazy. So you have no recursion in function. And be careful, they are a bug and it's not so easy to solve. So don't do declaration in block after a break or a continuous, because you can have some mistake in your script. Remark, you have also bug in function arguments. Today, it's impossible to pass a finite element function as a function argument due to technical things. So what is a special word for the finite element? So of course, x, y, z are the current coordinate of the current point. It can be really useful to define function. You have also label and region. Label is to boundary condition. So if you're on a border or your domain, you have label, and you can, of course, make stuff with this name. This is just integer. And the region, it's kind of label, but it was inside the domain. And it could be really useful if you have a lot of kind of material. You have the normal n, or n.x, n.y, and n.z. This is a normal to the border. It seems that you are on a border. Now, if you're on a surface, you have ns, it is a normal to the surface. And if you are on a line, you have t, this is TL. So sorry for the mistake here. TL, it is a tangent to the line. And why I don't put the normal to the line? Because the line will be in 3D, and so you have no automatic way to pass from the tangent to the normal in 3D. You can define integer, real, Boolean. You can define array. You can also define mesh. So you have mesh. This by default mesh is a 2D mesh. Mesh 3, it's a 3D mesh. Mesh S, it's a mesh on surfaces. So it was in the surface was in 3D, but of course the elements are triangle, and you have mesh line, so you are also in 3D, but the elements are segment. You can define finite element on all this stuff. So in 2D, in 3D, in surface or in line, you can define a finite element function U on space VH. Of course, it could be any kind of finite element space. And the equal operator means the interpolation operator of the function, of the function which x, if you are in 3D, x, y, z give you x, and you interpolate this function as a finite element function u. You can get complex value by adding the word complex, like in template C++. And if you want to get complex number, the I, which are the square root of 1, will be 1i. So if you put I, you have the a pure imaginary complex number. You can see u at point x, y, z, where x equal 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. You can, of course, get the array of degree of freedom associated to u, so u bracket. And because it is an array, you can take the some value on the array. So you have u bracket 5 to take the 6th value of in the array, because like in C, you start numbering by 0. So you always, for an array, go from 10 value, the index go to 0 to 9. So now more things for finite element. Here I give you an example where you put define finite element space with 3 components. And on first component, I will P2. On second component, I put P2, finite element. And in last component, I put P1. For the person we know Stokes problem, it's a classical Taylor-Wood finite element approximation on mesh TH. And here, now this is a coupled finite element space. So we have 3 components. So I put 3 names, U1, U2, P here in bracket. And I say I want to interpolate with 3 components, X, Y, Z. I know this is a stupid example, but it is really compact things. Remark, now U1, U2, and P, it's 3 unknown. but the degree of freedom associated to this free unknown are the same because you are in a coupled finite element space V3H. So U1 bracket, U2 bracket, and P bracket go to the same pointer in the memory, the pointer of degree of freedom. And so today it's impossible to have just the degree of freedom associated to U1 except by copy and pass by interpolation operator. So you have also macro generation. It could be useful to define some kind of function with, this is not exactly function, be careful, because macro, the parameter, they change the code inside. So if you want to define the divergence of u v, you have dx of u plus dy of v, and don't forget the command // it was the end of macro. You can, of course, define a gradient. So bracket is to define a local array. And here, if you define the Stokes problem formulation, you define the variational form with unknown u1, u2p, with test function v1, v2q. And it was equal to the integral 2d of grad u1 prime, so it's the prime is transpose, and if you have complex value, it's also the Hermitian transpose. You have gradient of v, so here it's the scalar product of grad, plus the same for the component 2, minus divergence of u1, u2 multiplied by the test function q. So here you recognize the Stokes formulation, and you say on boundary condition, you say u1 equal g1 and u2 equal g2. To get the matrices from the variational form, you just pass the finite element space. Of course, this finite element space must have the number of components which are in the definition of the variational formulation. And now this is to get the matrices. To get the vector, you put no value for the unknown test, you put 0, and it means you build the right-hand side. But be careful, due to the boundary condition, they use something in the test function because they use this part. So a variational form can be the sum of bilinear part, boundary condition part, and linear part. And if you have error such that in the creation of variational form or problem, it's because you try to have non-linear variational form. And to solve, I don't use MATLAB syntax. I prefer to use A caret minus 1. So it's mean A at power minus 1 multiplied by B. But of course, when you write that, you never inverse the matrices A. You solve the linear system, as in MATLAB. Where is it? So you can define some line function or more complex function. You can have operation in matrices, for example. You can build block matrices. You can also build array for renumbering and do something in matrix renumbering here. You have all the example. You can also get a sparse, all the sparse term in the matrices by this kind of writing. You can, of course, do the reverse things. So you have a lot of things. So I put this 4 slide for a memory, and when you do test, it can be really useful to do that. You can also define complex number. Sorry. And here you have a lot of example. Okay. So there are a list of plugins. So this is all the things where you add some functionality in FreeFrame. So the Beck, it was for Bose-Einstein stuff. I don't remember what they are inside. Bernardi-Rogel is a finite element. Binary I/O is to make I/O in binary form. Close point is to find a set of points which are close to another set. Curvature is to define the curvature of curve. DX Writer is to make tools for DX software. You have a lot of finite elements, so element. This is always of finite element. Element QF can be some amazing thing is to define a finite element on quadrature formula and can be useful to do optimization. FreeFrame QAT is tools to make mesh adaptation. That's all. Incomplete Cholesky is to make incomplete Cholesky preconditioner. Mumps and MUP sequential is to have interface with mumps. Matrix QAT, it's on all things to compute metric. Matrix PK, it's also things to compute metrics if your approximation are not P1. Morley is to make Morley finite element. New solver, it's a test to explain how to add new solver. Save HB is to save matrices in Harwell Boeing form to make interface with MATLAB. Sure complement is to compute the sure complement of matrices in sequential. Of course, you have the same also in PETC. I don't do that. Aniso is to compute the metric in Aniso form. BF stream, it's also to make binary I/O. I have to clean. I don't know what is the difference between BF stream and binary I/O. Biofunc is to add some special function if you do biomechanic stuff. DDFT is fast FFT. Distance is compute the distance to an ISO value. Exact partition, I don't remember. FFIPOpt is to the link with IPOpt, etc. So I don't pass everything. It's not so easy because there are clearly a misdocumentation on the list of plugins. Okay, what is the important plugin? QF11 to 25 is to add more quadrature formula in 1D, 2D, and 3D. And they also give you tools to build your own quadrature formula. You have element, Morley, Bernardi-Rogel. It's some list of new finite element. UMFPAC 44, SuperLU, MUMS, it's a new kind of sequential sparse solver. Metiscotch is to make mesh partitioning. FF random, it's a true number generator. GSL is a link with lot of special function and random generator from the libGSL from GNU. Shell and pipe, it's to add interface to the shell and to make pipe if you want to have link of software. So of course, DFFT, it's interface with FFTW3 library to do FFT. MH3 Antigen, it's to build 3D meshes, surface meshes, and line meshes, and Tegen interface. LAPACK, it's the interface with LAPACK, so to make something on full matrices. FFIPopt, it's to make optimization software. PPM to RNM, it's an interface to read PPM library and to put that in FreeFrame array and to do something with image. It's really low level. Isoline is to build a border from isoline, distance to build a sign distance approximation from an iso line or an iso surface. Unfortunately, there does not exist on surface and curve. I will add this rapidly because it's not so difficult. MMG, MSHmet, MEdit, it's the interface to the library of Pascal Frey and to do mesh adaptation, build metrics, and plot in 3D. And the important plugin with MPI version, so you have, of course, HPDDM, the new parallel solver, PETC, it's a new PETC interface, so thanks to Pierre Jolivet. SLEPC, it's a new version of SLEPC interface, and you have the same with complex value. You have, of course, MUMS to do interface with MUMS software. You have MPI GC. It's a very small interface with conjugate gradient and GMRaise. I do that maybe 10 years ago to make tests. And you have also a stochastic optimization algorithm called MPI CMEAS if you want to do stochastic optimization in parallel. Okay. So now I will really start on some example. As you see the time fill, so I want to solve my classic Poisson problem. And first of all, before to solve, because as I say in FreeFrame, that all are done through variational form. So suppose I get a domain, omega, and of course, omega will be a fish, and with a boundary called d omega, and I suppose these boundary are split in two parts, gamma 2 and gamma e for exterior. And I want to find the solution so that minus Laplace of u equal 1 in omega, u equal 2 on gamma 2, and du dn equals 0 in gamma e. So this is the basic equation. In fact, the variational form corresponding to the minimization of the energy of the equation 1. And you get the equation 2 by multiply by the test function v, integrate, and integrate by part to change the Laplacian on gradient. Why you do that? Because now in the equation 2, you have integral of omega of grad u grad v equal 1v plus the green term du dnv due to the green formula. Why you do that? It's because now you have only one derivative. And because all the derivatives are taken at the distribution chance, it's quite easy to compute one time the derivative. Two times it will be really difficult because when you have jump, the derivative of continuous function, you have no jump, so it is classical derivative. If you have jump in a derivative, you have, of course, Dirac mass appear on a jump part, and it will be difficult to manage. So this is the reason why I just want to have one derivative. And now, in the equation 2, I remark the green term will disappear. Why? Because first, du dn are equal to 0 in gamma e, and I know u in gamma 2. So because I want to have a linear system, my test function will be in a linear space where I know the value on the boundary where I know U. So that because I know the value, the only possible value in a vectorial space, if I know the value, is 0. So this is the reason the green part disappear. And what is completely magic in finite element method, I have just replaced my space VG, so that the space of V, which are in H1, so that V and gamma 2 equal to G, by a finite element space. And I can get directly the free frame code now, because I can have tools to write that at level of computer science. And so in free frame, I read the mesh, I define the finite element space as I explained before. So on my mesh TH, I take P1 function. I define a finite element function U, the unknown function, and V, the test function on my space VH, which are here. I define what is a gradient, UV, and I set the solver. But if you don't set, they use the default solver, and it's a good one. And I say now integral 3D, because I am in 3D, grad U prime multiplied by grad U, because grad U, it's a column vector. So to get the scalar product, I want to have a row vector multiplied by the column vector, so I get the scalar product, minus, because everything are equal to 0, minus integral of 1V, and I say on 2 U equal to. That's my first example. So, of course, it's exactly the same in 2D, except that I remove dx here, and I put integral 2D here. Okay? So, that's the 2D example. So, my first April fish, and it is also the Houston fish, because I do that in 2004 in Houston. You have exactly the same thing that is in 2D, and I run the script. So of course here, that, and you see my fish, and you can make a zoom, and you can see the mesh if you want. The mesh is quite fine. And of course, here you see what's happened. Okay, I skip the 3D. You can now do something on surface. So here you have example where I compute a Laplace-Beltrami problem. So here, in fact, in Laplace-Beltrami problem, sorry, I want to go here. You have the formulation, and I want to compute the eigenvalue of this problem. So now it's completely direct things. I define a torus. In fact, a torus are like a square with some deformation. And I compute eigenvalue with this word. And after, I show the eigenvalue. The first eigenvalue are 0, so you see nothing. And here you see the eigenvalue on with the deformation mesh. It is amazing. So now you can do stuff on surface, and I want to. No. So here you have remark on the rational form. I skip because I have no time. I skip all this. Yes, I want to spend 2 minutes on Mortar method to explain what are new on this version, because all what I show will be okay 1 year ago, but now these parts are new. So I modified an old example which called Mortar, DN Mortar in FreeFEM. So I want to solve my famous Poisson equation, but now my domain is an open set with inside a skeleton S. And in fact, I want to solve my problem so that I have my Laplace operator and I have the jump of my function multiplied by a Lagrange multiplier are equal to my right-hand side. And I say now this is my Lagrange multiplier. And I say, of course, the jump of my solution are 0. So in each subdomain, now, of course, this skeleton split my domain in some subdomain, and in each subdomain, I have to solve this problem because the jump gets the solution on one side, and of course, due to the jump, I have plus or minus 1 here, and I have the same thing on the skeleton. Now, if you, in the previous version, there are no tools to define finite element on a skeleton. So what I introduced before, it's the empty mesh things, and you can play with empty mesh to do mesh approximation of the skeleton. But now, because you have new finite element on surface or online, you can, of course, build the mesh of the skeleton and put a finite element on the skeleton and use everything. So here you have the formulation. Here you have the script, but I just want to show you what's happened. So what is new? First of all, I have to put more, I think somewhere. I define my skeleton is GI things. GI, what is GI? GI is these things. So this is all my skeleton. So I define the mesh of all my skeleton. So here I get the mesh of my skeleton, and I say THM for the mortar mesh size. I define the full meshes, and here I split the mesh. And I think it will be more easy. So here you have my domain, a circle with 4 domains, and in orange, I have the skeleton. The mesh, here you have the value of epsilon, plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1, and you have the way to solve my full problem. And here you have the same with conjugate gradient. So I just want to show you what is really new. Now here, I have variational form where U and V, because I do integration on, where is it? Here. I build matrices with a finite element online and a finite element 2D. And that is really new, and I will add a lot of formula to take all the case, and thanks to Axel for that. And I think I finish my talk with this example. I put on the web all my slides, so you can use this. As you can see, there are more than 200 slides, so you have a lot of examples inside, and you have all the script in the website from FreeFM. So, do you have any question? J'ai bien mis le... No question?
Someone is asking what is the definition of a skeleton. So maybe you can show again the plot.
Here the skeleton is just a line mesh. If you... the skeleton here are just the mesh of the orange part here. And I define a finite element on these line meshes. So of course, this is a line meshes, but there are 4 parts inside. Okay? So if it's not very clear, you can ask some question and I will try to answer after.
Frederic, may I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
So I think I'm not the only one who noticed that between versions 3 and versions 4, since the kernels are different, the same scripts take a lot more time in running in version 4 than in version 3.
Yeah, but you can send me an example. Possibly there are bugs. The matrices change, so possibly there are, for some example, they take more time. But they are the new matrices are more
efficient.
Comment dire en anglais, souple, more
flexible.
More flexible, yeah. Okay. So please, you can use the community to say that now the version 3 is completely out of scope. So we can try to do amelioration, but it will be hard.